Hi everyone, this is Lady T with your Cancer Oracle messages. I'm not doing any tarot today. I'm just throwing some Oracle messages for all the signs just to see, what you need to hear right now. In Cancer, I'm going to tell you right now, you by far have got the most cards. So let's get through it. So the first one we have here is summoning power here. Using your instinct, intellect, and control. Really stepping into your power. Trusting your intuition at this time. Death and rebirth is next. Darkness and light. Understanding that we all have light and dark within us. And that we have to learn how to accept both sides in order to come into balance. Moving on, we have feminine wisdom and passion with sensuality. So stepping into maybe your yin energy, I believe it is. Allowing the feminine in you to have more of a play right now. Maybe you've been in your masculine energy, perhaps. Building your world, creation, expansion, networking. So really, getting into that place of creativity, potentially networking with others kind of thing. And growing ascension, expansion, because you do have an ascension card here also. You've got river of blessings. And in order to get those blessings, you have to release something that is blocking those blessings, because it says here, releasing constraints. You have soul radiance with Phoenix rising. So again, coming up out of the ashes, stepping into who you are authentically, and being proud of where you have, come from, your transformation. And then you have achievement, effort plus intention. So putting the effort behind whatever it is that's going to make you happy. Here also you have Dharma unfolding, and it says understanding that you're on a path, and then also taking it slow, one step at a time, to reach your happiness, whatever that may be. You've got Mercury, which is open communication. You've got something to say, okay? Something you need to, release, but say it with love and kindness. You've got the Holy Spirit, expect miracles, understanding that love is the only real thing that matters, and that, Spirit is loving you right now and they've got your back. You've got Bridget with inner strength, stepping back into the wholeness of you, your authentic self. Is what Bridget is talking here, and using that inner strength to move forward. You've got Gaia Earth connection. Give back to the earth. Again, about grounding. Okay, so going out into into nature is going to be important for you. Also, Master Jesus here with forgiveness, that you are on your path, and on that path it's all about love, it's all about light and forgiveness, and making sure that if you have a relationship perhaps with a male, potentially your father, that needs to be healed, that is being worked on. That's a message with that card. Saint Germain, karma releasing, basically forge ahead, creating your own path, and move into a space of receiving that allows for positivity to come to you. But in order to do that, you've got to release something. You got to speak up for something. You've got to say your truth about something. You want to do that lovingly, but you have to come back into who you genuinely are to do that. And here's the Ascension card that I was talking about, Serapis Bay. Move into your true self. This is getting into the authenticity, and also coming up out of the darkness. That's why you have the Phoenix rising here, and also along that path, forgiving yourself. Your 11-year-old self. I'm going to read that card, but I believe it has to do with your inner child and getting to back to that space of, just sheer joy. Children, they have sheer joy until we take it away from them, because that's usually what we do. As parents, we, enforce our rules on our children, which takes away their innocence and takes away their experiences. And we do it of course, unknowingly, but, because that's what was done to us. So we perpetuate that. But keep that in mind to get back to your inner child. And also, let your inner child out more is another message that's coming through. 3, 2, 1, jump. Go for it. That's what I get with that card. You are at the divine Y point. I'm going to look that up, but I believe that means you're at a crossroads and you need to make a decision of some sort, but we'll see. It could be two paths that you need to decide between. The universe. I'll read that card too, because that's a question card for you, just like the soul giraffe is. So there's 3 cards here that we'll take a look at from the book so I can see what it has to say. And to be enlightened, lighten up. Again, getting back to that fun side of you, right? That one that's just goofy and silly and has a great time and doesn't care about anybody else while they do it. You know what I mean? Okay, now here we have our last row. Unleash your kindest self. So again, whatever you got to say, whatever you're walking in as far as your truth, your authenticity, you don't have to be a bulldozer to do that. You can be kind, you can be loving, you can be stern, you can have boundaries, you can do all these things, and you can still do it in love. So keep that in mind. We have attuned to the divine, again, going out in nature, again, quieting your mind so that you can, hear the creativity that's trying to come through to you. The intuitive messages also. Work through your feelings. In that quiet time, you're going to start to have things come up. And so you're going to need to work through those and not push them aside, not push them down, all that good stuff. One good way to do that is, just ask yourself the question, how am I feeling right now? And journal. That's another way to get those ideas out of as how you're feeling. Hold on a minute. Let me turn this around. I didn't realize it was upside down. Think it through. This is about before you take any actions, make sure you know what you're doing. Look down the road, see what the consequences of your actions could be before you do it. Don't do anything rash. Think it through. Step up and lead. Step into your power. Lead yourself. Maybe you're leading other people as well because you do have the networking card there. But again, you can't lead anybody else if you're not willing to lead yourself first. And full moon in Pisces, forgive. Forgive yourself. Forgive others. Walk in love. That doesn't mean you have to be with people. If they did you wrong, you don't want to be with them, you can love them from afar. You ain't got to be with nobody, right? Okay. Especially if they hurt you, that's up to you. You got to make the call that's right for you. And then the last one, new moon in Scorpio, go deeper. So this is about, you have some really deep-seated feelings that need to be addressed at this time. And that's why you're getting that, work through your feelings, work through that shadow side, work through those things that have hurt you, that you've pushed down and not dealt with. And so I really do hope this helps you. Oh, hold on one second, Cancer. I did forget, but I didn't forget for a moment. Let's read your cards. We've got your 11-year-old self, which I believe that's about getting back into your 11-year-old self, but we'll validate that. Okay. So this is talking about the questions to ask yourself to try to help you get back into your 11-year-old self would be, what do my 11-year-old self have to say about this? How can I play more? What would make the situation more fun? What did you like to do that I've forgotten? Meaning you're talking to your inner child here. What do you want to share with me from my childhood? It's okay. You're truly safe. So you're really integrating. Integrating. I don't know why I'm having difficulty talking right now. Integrating your 11-year-old self back into you, because at some point you may have suppressed that 11-year-old at some point. We've all done it at one time or another if we've gone through anything. And what did I see happen when I was young that I haven't been able to share? Again, getting into those deep feelings that we were talking about. Let's go ahead. You are at the divine Y point. Yep, this is about a choice. Really deciding, why are you headed in the direction you're headed in? And understanding that Let's see here. Ah, remember we talked about, let's see, do we have this on yours? No, maybe not. Okay. So you are at the divine wide point. So you've got a choice to make, but you always want to evaluate what your choices are and why you're going to make them. So again, looking down the road, having a higher perspective on your decision, your choices before you make them, before you take any action. Let's see here. We got the universe. Okay, and the questions you want to ask here is, what is my role to play in the greater story unfolding? What is the great cosmic joke? How can I connect more deeply with you, meaning spirit, the universe? What can you share about the situation from a higher elevation? So again, going within, grounding, being quiet, being still so that you can have a better connection, praying, meditating, whatever you do to quiet your mind so that you can hear the messages from spirit. And how can I volunteer to be in alignment with the coming evolutionary shift? So really, getting some answers as to how to proceed maybe on this path, right? And then the last one is soul giraffe. So let me read that one as well. Okay, if I could see higher and farther, what would I see? So this is about, again, taking that higher perspective, looking down the road before you make any choices, before you make any rash moves. Why are you doing it? Where's it going to lead you? What is going to be the outcome if you take either one, if you do a certain thing, etc., etc. What is on the horizon for the situation? Instead of the low-hanging fruit, what if I went for the lofty fruit? So really coming up out of any kind of constraints or limited thinking that you have, limited beliefs about yourself, and going, hey, what if I wanted to shoot for the moon? What's wrong with that kind of thing? And what might be within my grasp if I went higher in my thinking or viewpoint, and what danger is up ahead that I haven't seen yet? So making sure that you are walking from a clear intuition and not from illusion. So I do hope that this helps you, Cancer. Again, so far you've taken the record for the most cards so far on these readings, but much love and light to you, Lady T.